Welcome to Grey County Life. I'm JC Coots.
I'm Sarah Carmichael. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining us today. How has it been going? You've been busy.
Very busy. It's always busy. And you know what? You figured fall would get here and things would start to calm down, but it's actually the opposite. Fall gets here, and for some, myself included, hockey starts to take over the life and the schedules. For me, with the Owenstown Attack and the Meaford Knights, and also running to see my niece Rachel play hockey as well. So that kind of takes over time. And then, of course, people start thinking about upcoming holidays, Halloween, decorations, costumes, and then already people are starting to think Christmas and those decorations. It gets crazy. Are you thinking that far ahead?
I am not that prepared.
No.
But I will say this. I admire those who are on the ball when it comes to holidays and decorating. There's a number of places around Owen Sound that are very well decorated for Halloween already, and I enjoy walking my dog around my neighborhood and seeing more and more decorations. There's one just as you go up 10th Street West on the left-hand side, and they have like fake smoke and stuff in the evening. If you walk by, it's pretty cool. And then even 10th Street East there, they have a number of decorations on some lawns throughout there. And as I said, I'm like, these guys are on the ball. Like, Halloween is still not for a few more weeks, but they're like in full Halloween mode. The only real preparation I have done is I have bought some Halloween candy.
Oh, yeah?
And it was because last year we got ourselves into a bit of a predicament, or not last year, excuse me, the year before, in that we didn't buy Halloween candy beforehand. We went out like the day before to buy Halloween candy, and there was none anywhere. I went to like 8 different places, couldn't find any. So to save myself from that stress, I have been buying a box here, a box there, as I find it on sale, right? They had a thing that if you bought a box at the grocery store, you got like 1,000 Optimum points. And I was like, or whatever they are now, the PC points. And I was like, okay. So I've been buying some candy, but I've also been hiding it so that it doesn't get eaten by people in my house before Halloween.
You have to, because last year I think we set a record where we maybe went through 5 boxes before the big day even came. So that's too much, I think. And then, of course, they do this thing where they make the prices of the boxes, nice and reasonable in like September, maybe the first 2 weeks of October, and then they're less reasonable towards the end. And I get supply and demand in business and all that, but advisable, if you've got the willpower, get it early and just stash it away.
Yeah, save yourself the headache of, being stressed out a few days leading up to Halloween, and also, as you said, save yourself a little bit of money by buying it early. But yeah, that's been, pretty much my house. We've just been kind of getting ready. The fall is here, the leaves are changing, the temperature is getting colder, and I personally am preparing for hibernation because that's generally what I do. I'm basically just a bear, and I like to stay indoors where it's warm and where I have snacks. So that's pretty much my winter plans. I've been trying to get my book supply replenished because I spent a lot of my summer reading, so I now need to get some more books. So there's been some great book sales recently at different libraries, which has been great. There was one in Markdale last week and over the weekend, and then also the Owen Sound Library. They do their book sales the 3rd Thursday of each month. Okay. So you can go in there and stock up on the used books, but they're still in good condition. So it's a great opportunity to get your reading material without breaking the bank.
I feel I have to ask, what was the best book from Sarah's Summer Book Club that you might recommend?
Oh, goodness. Well, I did read Where the Crawdads Fly. Okay. And then I watched the movie, which is on Amazon Prime. Oh. So I read that one. And then the one I just finished is by a Canadian author named Sherry Lapina. I may be saying that last name incorrectly, but she has written a number of sort of like a whodunit thriller type books. Okay. And the one I actually just finished last night is called Everyone Here is Lying. And it's sort of a weird story, and it's got a lot of like twists and turns. So I would recommend her. I've heard her other books are really good too, and it's always nice to support Canadian authors. So
I know it's kind of cheating, but I listened to a book this summer just because we took a road trip. So we listened to the Hunger Games prequel book, which I think is called the Songbirds and Snakes or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be a movie this fall, but we listened to it. It was quite good. Also done by the original author that did the trilogy. So it wasn't like some no-namer came in and just like, I'll carry this on and make some cash off of it.
It'd be like someone trying to come in and like for J.K. Rowling's and be like, I'll take Harry Potter from here.
That's
like.
right. In fact, you're probably better odds of seeing another Harry Potter book from her before you will have actually seen the next Game of Thrones book from George R.R. Martin. I know a lot of book fans are still waiting for that one.
Yeah.
Still.
but yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. I've just been kind of preparing myself to hibernate, although there's been lots of activities, which has been really great too. This past weekend, the Terra Festival of Crafts went on.
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, I actually checked that out. There was like 165 exhibitors.
We drove through Terra just before the weekend, and my wife saw the giant sign across and said, "We're coming back this weekend," and we did.
Yes, you were given your assignment.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun to be there, and then even on Saturday, I was actually over in Collingwood for a job fair. At Blue Mountain Village. So they're doing their big outdoor job fair. And so they're looking to hire people for the winter. So if you are looking for a job, you could always apply over at Blue Mountain. You could go to bluemountain.ca/jobs. And they're specifically right now kind of looking for people to help with the snowmaking and the grooming, ski patrol, to work with the ski school, people that want to work in the terrain park. The lift operators, sort of the outdoor jobs is what they're looking for right now. And it could be a great, part-time gig for the winter. If, let's say, you already have a full-time job, but you want to make some extra money, they are definitely flexible with that. And it's a fun place to work. I worked there. I was in the rentals department when I was like 17, 18. My friend Rob and I both got jobs there, so we would carpool going over, and it's got perks. You get like a free ski pass, there's like discounts on the food, and this was before the Blue Mountain Village existed, right? But now they have like obviously the hotels and such on the property, and you actually can get a discount too if you are a staff member.
All right.
So little incentive.
Good possibility, and a pretty good time of year to be out there too. Beautiful fall colors. We've got a busy show here on Grey County Life this week. First off, we're going to learn more about a very important partnership between O'Share and the Salvation Army Food Bank. We'll also learn more about a trivia night with the Billy Bishop Museum, and Renee's going to be here with another friendly animal that needs a new forever home. All of that coming up today on Grey County Life.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
Today, I helped a senior find transportation to an important medical appointment.
Today, I helped a new mom find virtual programming so she didn't feel so isolated.
Today, I helped someone understand new government supports.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
What kind of show do you want to see on Rogers TV? What interests you? Log on to rogerstv.com, fill out a show proposal, and tell us about your segment idea. We want to know what you want to see. Rogers TV, only on Rogers.
And welcome back to Grey County Life. Our guest today, joining us on Zoom, we have Colleen Trask, who's the Executive Director of OShare. And she is also joined in her office today by Alice Wannen, who's the Community and Family Services Manager with the Salvation Army. Hi, ladies. How are you today?
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on. We're going to chat about a brand new collaboration between OShare and the Salvation Army, which is going to make sure that fresh food gets out to families in our city, in our community. First, though, for people that don't know what OShare is, Colleen, can you explain to us what OShare is?
Yeah, so OShare is a community meal program right here in Owen Sound, and we serve meals twice a day to anyone in the community who needs it from Monday to Saturday. Last year, we served 123,000 meals to people, anyone who needed it. So people just come in, no questions asked, and they can be served a meal at lunch and supper.
And 123,000 meals in a single year. That's a lot of meals and a lot of people, obviously, that in our community are requiring the services of having food. How many do you have numbers of how many people you might see on a monthly average?
We typically are doing about 10,000 meals a month. Just depends. Some months are a bit higher and some are lower, but yeah.
Wow. And of course, you rely heavily on the commitment of volunteers with OShare to prepare and serve the meals. So how many volunteers would go into, say, a day's worth of meals, like between prepping and serving?
So we have on site about 20 volunteers throughout the day. I like to say that we have the best volunteers in Owen Sound because I really believe that's true. I'm sure Alice will think she does, but I know I do. Yeah, so we have about 20 a day. We have about 110 on our roster of volunteers that come in to help over a month. So it's incredible, from businesses to individuals to families who come and donate their time to help us.
And Alice, of course, the Salvation Army Food Bank has been very busy in our community these last few years. How many people, clients, would you say that you likely see come in on an average month to take advantage of the non-perishable food items found at the food bank?
Yeah, so we actually just did our stats because we're obviously in the midst of our Thanksgiving food drive. So we did stats for August, and we actually saw a 42% increase over last year. We served 1,016 people in the month of August alone. So that's individuals that are only allowed to come in once every 30 days. So that was a considerable jump from us from 2022.
Is there a commonality in the types of people, the demographics that you're seeing come in? Are they younger? Are they families? Are they seniors that are struggling, or is it kind of just all across the board in this new demand?
It is certainly all across the board, but we certainly have highlighted that we're seeing more seniors than we ever have, and definitely what we consider more the working poor, the families that have one or possibly two people even working, but are working at minimum wage jobs and just not quite making it. The rents are incredible here, as everybody knows, in this city. And sometimes it's a choice of paying the rent or feeding their family. So we've certainly seen more families come in that are just looking for just a little bit of extra help. And I think we both certainly anticipate that those numbers will continue to rise as the price of food and everything continues to rise.
So the partnership, there's something new. It's called the Grey Bruce Food Share, and you're working together with that, and also working together in creating the new Grey Bruce Fresh Food Bank. So let's talk about the partnership first of all. Obviously, the demand is what was sparked the need for this partnership.
Yeah, I think we have always, OShare and the Salvation Army have always worked really, really closely together. Colleen would send over items that she knew we were in need of. If we got big bulk items, we would send those over to her. It really during COVID, we really worked very closely doing that. And then it branched out into helping some of our smaller community food banks who weren't able to access the skids of food like we were, and that fresh food rescue, second harvest food rescue food. So we were putting out email offers, and it just really got much bigger than we ever could have imagined. Colleen never closed during COVID, but had to change her operations to kind of a takeout model. We remained open through COVID, so we took over her location really for what we now consider Grey Bruce Food Share. So now that they're really wanting to open up again and get back to in dining, it made sense for us to come together and work towards how we could make that happen. That would not just benefit OSHARE and the Salvation Army and our community, but also benefit all of those other feeding programs and food banks who don't often have the capacity to take cases or skids of food.
And I think the big thing is that we want to be able to accept those skids of food and share them with our community, because we realize that everyone across the county is seeing increased numbers and increased families needing support. And so if we can work together to bring in skids of food and then disperse it across Grey Bruce, then that's really helping our whole community, which is what's most important to us. So.
And
awesome.
I think, go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, I was just going to say that I just think it's awesome that you're collaborating. And as you know, as Colleen said, that there's so much need, not just in this community, but in our surrounding community. So being able to, reach out and share what you're able to, accumulate is really amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we kind of came together and decided that we needed to find a space. And then we worked with the team at Barry's Construction to design and create the space that's like a little warehouse space with a sharing area where those agencies can come in and they can take what they need for their community, from like toothbrushes and toothpaste right through to fresh produce to meat, all of those things, and take them back to where they need.
What else is in the facility, or what does the facility look like? So if someone was to walk into this new facility, what would they see? And would someone greet them at the door? Do they have to pre-register? Is it open to anybody? How does it all work?
So those are great questions. And it is kind of a different concept. We're probably one of two that have this model, certainly in Ontario, probably even larger than that, but it isn't actually open to the public. So OSHARE still continues with their feeding program. The Salvation Army still continues with their food bank operations. This building is a place just where other community agencies, other community partners can come in and pick up food for their food bank or their feeding program. So it's really not, we love to do tours, and we've been doing a lot of tours for the community, but it's not somewhere where people who are in need would come in and access food. They would still do that the same way they have been doing. But if you came in for a tour, you would see a wonderful building that Barry's Construction has helped us put together. It does, like Colleen said, have a shopping room that all the other food banks and feeding programs can help themselves to. They have full freezers, full coolers, full of meat and produce right now. And then there is a separate back area, a sorting area, where when the two organizations go and pick up the second harvest food rescue from our grocery stores. And I think we have 15 participating stores that are contributing to Grey Bruce Food Share. In there, you'll see all the volunteers sorting through that food, checking expiry dates, cleaning vegetables, produce. It's a pretty amazing operation, really.
And Second Harvest, they're directing quite a bit of food on a weekly basis to you guys. How much is it? And you said that they work with 15 grocery stores to collect all of this?
We actually collect it. We both actually have drivers that go out. Colleen has really been primarily picking up the fresh produce and meat items because she can turn around and use those on a daily basis right there to feed those couple of hundred people she's feeding. We've been more taking the non-perishable food items at the food bank, and then she shares with us that fresh produce. So it's worked out really well. But again, we work with Canada Food Bank. So when they send transport trucks of food and we can't take capacity of say 19 skids, this now gives us that opportunity that when they say we have 15 skids of granola bars that we want to share, we can accept them, take them right to Grey Bruce Food Share, and then make sure that 25 food banks and feeding programs can all share in that for their community. And that's really what we love about this whole program.
Obviously, to have a facility like this there's a large cost to it. How is it funded? Is it funded through donations? Is it funded through private? What keeps it going?
So it is funded through donations. So Alice, we're partnering together. This is a program of OSHARE, but we invited the Salvation Army to be our main partners in it, just because we've already been partnering so much together and we work well together. And so together we're making this happen. But both of us rely on community donations. We're not publicly funded.
The other piece that we've worked into that I think is an important piece is those 25 or 26 agencies, partnering agencies, we've asked them to commit to several hours a month to help us right there on location, because right now Colleen's using her volunteers, we're using our volunteers. But as part of that whole buy-in, I think that that's a really important piece for those partnering agencies to see and be a part of. And it's a way for them to give back as opposed to just taking from Grey Bruce Food Share. So we're really going to highlight that. We're going to encourage that if you're taking from Grey Bruce Food Share, that you give a couple hours a month to help give back to it.
Yeah, to help sort.
Yes, exactly, to help sort. And those will all help keep our costs down, right?
Absolutely. That's incredible. Now, as far as like the fresh produce and stuff, you said that you mostly pick that up yourselves from the local grocery stores. So this is a super important piece, because I think that for a lot of people nowadays, like getting that fresh fruit, getting that fresh produce, it can be so expensive. And, for people that are just struggling to put the basics on the table, having those sort of extra things is incredible, that you're able to make that available. Now, has there been anything specific that you've found, like that people are asking for when it comes to fruits and veggies? Is there certain things that you're looking for?
I think really people are just so excited to get fresh fruits and veggies. We had someone drop off 10 bushel barrels of carrots, and we were able to ship. Alice took some, and she was telling me today that it was like candy. Like people were just so excited to get these fresh out of the garden carrots.
They were still covered in dirt. They were that fresh, and people were so excited to have fresh carrots for supper that night, or to be able to peel those and send those to school with kids. And I mean, we've always been able to do some produce, but not the levels that this is going to allow us to share fresh fruit and just that better nutritional value food with our families.
And it's a huge amount. We're looking at it at OSHARE, about 11,000 pounds, between 11 and 14,000 pounds a month of fresh produce that we're taking from grocery stores that they would otherwise have thrown in the landfill, but instead they're sending it to us. And we're able to go through that, take out the stuff that's not good. We compost it with a local farmer, which is great. Recycle the materials like the plastics and stuff that it's come in, and then we're able to share those vegetables and fruit. And it is a really nice treat to be able to give out grapes and strawberries and all that.
Blueberries, lettuce
blueberries. Yeah, it's incredible what we get. And I mean, it's stuff that we see in the grocery store, right? When you're shopping and you see that bag with one moldy orange in it, you're not going to buy that. But instead, the grocery store gives it to us. We take the moldy one out, compost it, wash the other ones, and then we can give out those oranges for school lunches, which is incredible.
Wow, this is just such a great program to reduce the waste and keep these things out of the landfill. And it's just incredible. That's amazing.
It is pretty incredible. We're pretty excited.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are some key partners that you work with, some key businesses that they deserve a shout out. So, are there any businesses that have really made this whole process a lot easier and are really helping to put more meals on the tables in Owen Sound area?
Wow, you know what? There is, and I would hate to miss one, but I can tell you that all of our grocery stores in Owen Sound,
every one of
them is on board. There's it's hard because I don't want to miss anybody, but we've got Chapman's who's on board. Certainly,
the Shoppers Drug Mart.
Yeah, there's big businesses, there's small ones, there's many. And we just really anticipate that it will keep growing as the community learns, like Sarah said, the food that's being diverted from waste management, and as they see that the nutritional value that we're able to provide to families. I mean, Colleen's always been able to do that there. They've always used their fresh meat and fresh produce to be able to provide really healthy food choices for lunch and dinner. The food bank predominantly has always been non-perishable items, and we've really only made that switch in the last couple of years, but we've had to select it for our families, whereas now she's going to be able to provide us with enough that we can give everybody the opportunity to take fresh fruit and vegetables. So we're so excited about that.
Obviously, there's a lot of hours that go into this for both of you, and obviously seeing the demand these last few years continue to creep up. Does that keep you up at night, or is there something else that keeps you up at night in your respective roles?
I think overall, all of that is keeping us up right now. We talk often throughout the day, and I'm pretty sure every one of our conversations starts with like, can it get any busier, right? Or when is it going to slow down? And I think traditionally, and I can only really speak for the Salvation Army, we always used to see a bit of a lull come February, March, April, where that was kind of our time to catch up and give everybody a bit of a break and a rest and gear up again for that busy season. But for the last several years, we obviously haven't seen that lull. And again, Colleen's numbers are just extravagant, helping people. We just released today that in the past 12 months, we have distributed over $1 million worth of food here in our community, which to me is just a staggering number, to think that many people in our community are not making it and need the help of OSHARE and the Salvation Army to feed their families.
And on the flip side, it's incredible to me to realize and see the compassion and the giving spirit of our community, who are filling up paper bags right now for the Salvation Army, and dropping off bushelfuls of carrots for us to share. And honestly, from small businesses to individuals to large businesses, our community is incredible at taking care of each other and showing their giving spirit. We could not do what we do without them. So although it's busy running around to all those places, we're just so thankful for each person and each business that gives to help us do what we do.
Well, ladies, we're so thankful that both of you are running these organizations and working together.
Long way from Nashville, and mama, I tell you that. Performed from Montreal to Boston to Los Angeles. But Toronto, that's my chosen home. Sure, when I'm walking down Yonge Street, I see some funny people who have the nerve to point the finger at me. Grin and smile and whisper. My song was #2 on local radio. Sold 10,000 in Toronto alone. Turned down Ed Sullivan because they asked me to remove my makeup. Wouldn't do American Bandstand because of their segregation policies. I was just being me. Never tried to explain myself to anyone. And besides, none of that to worry, Jackie, because I know I look good. Got a new way of loving, baby. Thought I want to teach it to you.
Jackie Shane was a pioneer transgender soul singer, a central figure in the Toronto R&B scene. She helped shape what we know as the Toronto sound.
Hi, I'm David Sherman, host of Politically Speaking. Join me for my next show, where my guest will be Rick Byers, MPP for Bruce Grey, Owen Sound. Politically Speaking on Rogers TV.
October 5th, 2014, my daughter was hit by a train. She was walking along the sides of the tracks. and it shattered her world.
Welcome back to Great County Life. Joining us, we have Gloria Habart from the Billy Bishop Museum. Good morning, Gloria.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Now, there's lots of excitement at the Billy Bishop Museum these days, and you are the board chair, and you're here to tell us about the upcoming trivia night.
That's right. It's on October 28th. It's called, it's a spectacular Halloween trivia night. We call it a spooktacular fun night, and that it's always a good time. We hold it at the Owen Sound Legion. They're a good supporter of us. We're very grateful for that. It's lots of good questions this year. 6 categories, 10 questions in each one. Some very interesting questions this year. I put them all together, so I won't give you too many hints about it. It's $15 a person, and it's or $100 if you put in a team of 8. Okay. But you just come by yourself if you want, and we'll put together a team when you get there, kind of stuff. Doors open at 6, and the first question will be at 7 p.m. This is one of our big fundraisers we have this year, and as you know, a museum's a non-profit, so you have to find money where we can. We do get grants and things like that, but you do need to find other fundraisers for this, and this is one of our big ones. It's always fun. You bring your own food if you want to eat. The Legion will have the bar open, so if you choose to imbibe that way. We have prizes for the top scorer, the best costume, the team theme, and there'll be a silent auction. Again, we've got lots of people out there to help support us, local businesses and things that give us the items for it, and we always thank you. Very good for them. And that, as I said, it's at the Legion, and dress up if you want. You don't have to, but it's more fun if you do. Some very appropriate costumes and things like that.
Mm-hmm. I've never been to this myself, but I have friends that have been to your trivia nights in the past, and they put up photos on Facebook and Instagram, and it just looks like an absolute riot. Like, it looks like a super fun night. People will decorate their tables even.
Oh yes, decorate their tables and bring. And I think I'm going to be a marker this year, marking the answers. Okay. And but a couple of years I'm what they call a runner. So we do it the old-fashioned way in paper.
Okay.
And so you fill out your answers, and someone has to run around and collect them up and that. And I always go around checking the different tables to see what kind of food is there. Some people order in pizza, believe it or not.
Really?
Wow. It's kind of cool.
And I mean, there's the fish and chips place across the street.
There is that too. Yes, I never thought of that.
Let's get some skip the dishes arriving with tacos and whatever else.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Be nice.
I'm guessing there's a hard and fast rule too with this trivia night that there's no cell phones allowed, right? So
not allowed. If you're
no
caught,
cheaters.
If you're caught cheating, you have to pay a fine.
Oh.
So yeah.
And be publicly humiliated.
Oh, big time, yes, big time humiliated.
Shame.
We reserve the right to be wrong. So if someone questions it, we say, too bad.
Right.
Kind of
These are the answers that we have, and this is what we're sticking to.
That's right. To register, you just sign up at billybishopmuseum.org.
Okay.
And events, I think is the site, but you can just find it on there. It's very, very easy.
Yeah.
It's always a hoot of a time. If you want, I could give you an example of one of the questions from last year.
Oh, yes. We'll see if we can figure it out.
What was the punishment given to the Bishop of Rochester's cook in Henry VIII's time after he poisoned the bishop's feast and 2 dinner guests died? These are the answers. A, boiled in his own pot. B, hanged. C, had his head cut off. D, buried alive.
Oh my goodness. Those are all terrible ways to go.
I was going to say that they made him watch like a Seinfeld marathon, but oh man. Henry VIII, right?
During Henry VIII's time.
He was famous for, off with the head, but I wonder if he was, a little bit ironic with the chef's punishment.
That's what I thought. I thought maybe boiled in his own pot, like, just really make him suffer, maybe.
Final answer?
Yeah, lock it in. It's only $1 million on the line. Let's lock it in.
Boiled in his own pot.
We were right. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm cashing out. Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, because it's Halloween, we're trying to get like the spooky and the grotesque and stuff. So I'm not going to give you all the categories, but there's two. One all about Halloween, which is obvious.
Okay.
And then another category we have is called terrible tortures.
Oh.
So you go from there and think what some of the other categories might be.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm just imagining everybody's like who, let's say they decide to, do a little bit of homework before what their internet browser history is going to be looking like. They're looking up like terrible, like, oh my goodness, terrible ways to die and like things like that. Like, oh yeah, could be interesting.
Well, it's going to be fun. It's always good to, the questions, they're not terribly hard. A couple of them might be a little hard, but some of them are quite easy. Some of well, that can't be the answer. It's too easy. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
Maybe,
when in doubt, answer C.
Is there going to be a music category that's part of it as well? Because
no, there's not.
Oh, darn. I was going to say, as soon as I hear the first few bars of the Ghostbusters theme, I'm going to be like, Ray Parker Jr. I got it.
Is that the Monster Mash? Yeah, that could be fun.
Well, we've changed it over the years. We've done different categories to try different things. But we decided it's the simplest. Make the categories interesting and some interesting questions and stuff like that. It's always great fun.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
And as I said, I've got friends that have been to it, and they always put up their photos, and it just looks like a really good time. And everybody's just there to have a good time. Sure, it can get a little competitive, I would imagine.
It can at times, yes.
At the end of the day, it's all for a good cause.
We have to caution people from time to time. So this table's working with, well, I think the answer is this and that, and the other tables are listening.
Right.
So you say, wait a minute, no, well, maybe you just want to keep it a bit quiet, stuff like that. So, but it's always a good time. It's really, really good time. So as I said, it's just billybishopmuseum.org and events, and that's how you just get a ticket. And if you want to get in the Halloween mood, people should visit the museum because it's all, I was in there yesterday, it's all spookily decorated with kind of stuff, all very interesting things.
Yeah.
Is there a cap on, with the trivia event, on the number of teams or players that can be there? Is there a chance that if people don't act soon that it might be sold out in
They
full?
could. I'm not exactly sure how many people will have. It's in the big room at the Legion, so there's lots of space. But no, I don't have that. I'm not sure how many, but just call us or just go online and see what's available and stuff like that. We stuff in as many people as we can.
The more the merrier.
Yeah,
or the more the scarier.
But that's right. The more the scarier. Yeah, the more the scarier. But it's always a hoot of a time. I think people would very, very enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it is a fundraiser for us. We need the money. That, as I said, we have something. I should say this, with the categories. We have a mulligan.
Oh.
So you can purchase mulligans, and if you don't know, I don't know any of these, so you just put your mulligan on that one question, that one category, and so you get a free point.
A little gimme.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely going to need those for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, but it's a hoot. It's a really hoot. So just watch for that. As I said, book your tickets. And that.
Yeah. Awesome. And then the following day, on Sunday, October 29th, there's also another event happening at the Legion.
Yes, this is one I'm proudest of that we do. It's our Honoring Our Local Veterans event. We've been doing this. Now, let me just check the date here. We've been doing this since 2001.
Okay.
And we've honored more than 200 men and women over the years who have served in the armed forces, who have a connection to Gray and Bruce. Now, you might have served in the British Army, for instance, but you moved here after the war, or you moved here, and you are now in Gray and Bruce counties, so a lot of them. We're honoring, it's at the Legion again, and it's at the Sunday. The doors open at 1:30, and the ceremony begins at 2. This is open to everybody. And please come, people. It's a good chance to meet the ones we're honoring this year, as well as other veterans or maybe serving members of the armed forces who are there, or their families, because we tend to forget the families are also part of it. We're honoring 9 this year. 4 will be posthumous recognitions, and the other 5 are still with it. And we're hoping they'll all be able to attend this event. Again, it's quite a thing. It's quite moving to have it done and to see the people, talk to the people.
Well, and the people being honored, I'm sure it really means a lot to them.
Oh yes,
to receive that
it really
that special ceremony, and to have as you said, their families there, and just the people from around the community to be there to share that.
That's right. And speaking to these men and women, they say, well, we're just doing our job. And the rest of us think, well, the job I wouldn't like to do, but that's what they just do. Oh, we're just doing our duty, just doing very, very modest, most of them, about what they have done. And it's good.
Yeah,
we've got a good
incredible mindset that they have.
Yes, yes. We've got one was in the Merchant Marine. We forget the Merchant Navy was vital in keeping England fed and bringing troops and munitions and airplanes and everything back and forth across the ocean. And that we have some Korean War veteran, I think, this year, Second World War, Cold Warriors, what we call the Cold Warriors. After the Korean War, you had the Cold Warriors, the peacekeepers and things of that. I don't think we have an Afghan veteran this year, but we have Afghanistan veterans. And again, I'll segue into an exhibit we have at the museum now. We've had it for a year, Ground Truth, which is about the Afghan wars. The war, and people, was curated basically driven by some of the veterans, and we have had them tell their stories on tape there, tell their stories and share their stories, and it's quite a moving one. We have honored Afghan veterans because we tend to forget. A lot of people think veterans, First World War, Second World War, Korea. No. You've had veterans ever since. Every day we make veterans, and they served through the Cold War, through the wars in the Middle East, Africa, all over the place. There are Canadians, men and women, soldiers posted all over the world, in places you don't even think stuff. Remembrance Day is a time we always remember the sacrifices that we have, and I'm pleased to see crowds that show up at that. But I just, every year people get all excited. Remembrance Day, remember the veterans, remember all the people that serve. And then the rest of the year, like so many things, you tend to forget about it. Mm-hmm. And we've got to try to remember all year that these people are out there.
Yeah.
And that. So honoring our local veterans, that's what our little bit that we try to do to maintain this, to remember them, to keep the remembrance going. Wow. And like I said, it's available for everyone who's invited to this event. It's very, very good thing to see. And I believe the Legion Auxiliary is going to provide some snacks afterwards, which will be good. So.
I'll ask you some questions about the Afghanistan exhibit.
Yes.
How long is the exhibit on for? How long
It'll be through this spring, I think. I don't think we've quite decided how long it's going to be here, but it'll be through this spring because we do have some plans for some more coming. I think next year was the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and we got a big exhibit planning about that. And we're doing something about the founding of the Royal Canadian Air Force. Billy Bishop was involved in that, and the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan, which was a big thing in the Second World War, and Billy was involved in that as well. So right now the ground troop exhibit is still up there, to come and see us.
Okay. And that's part of regular admission to the Billy Bishop Museum.
Yes.
You'll be able to see that exhibit if you're there.
And it's $5. Anybody over 18 over, it's only $5 a person. If you've got the open card program, you get it for free admission for that.
And when's the museum open? What are the typical hours?
Right now it's open Tuesday through Friday, noon until 4. Unless there's an event like we get school tours, and if they're in the afternoon, then often it'll be closed. But it's open generally Tuesday through Saturday. Pardon me, not Saturday this time of year. Tuesday through Friday, noon until 4.
Okay. Perfect. And with Remembrance Day, is there anything specific the Billy Bishop Museum will be doing at the ceremony this year in Owen Sound?
We just have our wreath that's laid ahead of time, and that's what we do. Mm-hmm. That. So we usually have the cadets come in afterwards for donuts and things from Tim Hortons, but the Remembrance Day is on a Saturday this year, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that this year. We haven't made a decision on that yet.
Right.
Yeah, I love it when the cadets come in. They come swooping in, all the hot chocolate and the coffee and the Timbits, and then all of a sudden they're there, swoop, gone.
I feel like we would be missing an opportunity if I didn't ask about Billy Bishop himself, because it is his museum, and so we should probably chat about the man himself for anyone that didn't know Billy Bishop. But I mean, if you've ever been through Toronto, you might have seen the Billy Bishop Airport and heard of him that way. He comes comes from Owen Sound.
That's right, that's right. And the museum is in his house. He lived in that house 1894 he was born, and he lived there until he went off to Royal Military College when he was about 17, I guess he would have been. And that he went to school here, obviously. He never came, pardon me, he never came back to live here as an adult, but always he visited all the time because his parents had the house, obviously, and then his sister as well, and then his nephew had the house after that. I could tell you a million stories about Billy. He wasn't very good at school, so he was always getting bullied. He liked dancing. And I don't think it's the dancing classes so much as the fact that that's where the girls were.
That's how to impress the girls, learn to dance.
That's right, exactly. And things, and so he was, you know, bullied and went off. As I said, he wasn't very good in school. And his parents decided to send him off to Royal Military College in Kingston to see if that would help. And well, he didn't do very well there either. In fact, his third year, he failed. He was caught cheating on the final exam. He wasn't very smart at cheating. He turned in his crib notes as well as exam answers. Oh. But the head of this college said, well, I'll deal with you in the fall. Well, in August of that year, the Great War began. And he had some military experience. He was a good marksman, good horseman, and he just joined the military. And then became a pilot, and the rest, they say, is history. Became the top ace in the Allied place, 72 confirmed kills. They speculate there were more than that. Of course, he earned the Victoria Cross. In fact, he earned a whole whack of medals. He was one of the only ones that received 3 medals from King George V at one time.
Wow.
He had these 3 medals. Very, very good at what he did in the air. Wasn't very good at flying his planes. Apparently he kind of crashed his planes as he landed them, but that's beside the point.
Well, I mean, I guess at his time too, like, it's not like he grew up with dreams of being a fighter pilot, because planes didn't really exist then. Like, this was all fairly new.
Well, yeah, early 1900s, when the Wright brothers first had a flight going, and then so air flight was in its infancy. In fact, they they used the planes mainly for observation until they realized, well, this could be a good weapon. So it was fairly, very new, and then the life of a fighter pilot was very short that time. Billy was lucky, one of the lucky ones. And in the morning, you'd get up and have breakfast with your buddies, and you didn't know if all the buddies would be there at the end of the day.
Wow.
Between wars, he helped develop the RCF, as I said, and then the Commonwealth Air Training Plan, which trained pilots from all over the Allied nations here in Canada. And then Billy served as an air marshal at that time. And then Korea, he had asked if he could help in Korea too, the Korean War. But no, his health was gone a little bad by then because of all the stresses of what he went through in all the wars.
Well, it's certainly amazing that he inspired generations of future Canadian pilots and RCAF pilots. One opportunity to help support the Billy Bishop Museum is going to be coming up on Saturday, October 28th for their trivia event at the Legion. Details again are on the Billy Bishop Museum website. You can sign up and support the museum, and don't forget the Veterans event the following day as well that's going to be taking place. And remember to support our veterans on Remembrance Day here in Owen Sound. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
We'll be back with more on Grey County Life.
I did it.
I need it.
The hero gave it.
And I am alive.
As an organ donor, you can save up to 8 lives and enhance the lives of 75 others. Please go to our website. Pledge a gift of life. You'll be glad you did.
Baking for Change is coming this fall, and I'm your host, Wendy Pauls.
We'll feature some of Canada's best bakers like Jen and Astor, sharing their favorite recipes. And you can bake along with us at home, while supporting refugee youth like Crystal. And the amazing work of UNICEF Canada.
Check for days and times.
On Rogers TV.
Join us next week as we will be speaking with Patty Smith about the upcoming Witches Dance just in time for Halloween.
And we'll meet another furry friend looking for a forever home with the Owen Sound Animal Shelter. And welcome back to Grey County Live. Joined as always by Renee to end on a positive note.
Oh, good one.
Thank you.
Good one.
Renee, who do you have today?
This is my buddy Atlas. And Atlas is the most gorgeous, big-hearted, loving, squishy puppy. Although he's a senior, this fella is between the ages high of 9 and 10 already. Very much still a puppy in personality, which is amazing. We think he's a lab and golden retriever mix. He blows a bad coat, is what we call him at the shelter when they do this. 'Tis spring again at the shelter. And when that happens, we sometimes question whether there's a shepherd or husky or something of that nature. Okay. In his background, we don't know for sure, but I've seen some pretty sheddy retrievers and some pretty sheddy labs when the season is appropriate. So I have no idea.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. He is full grown. This is what you get. This is what he's going to grow into. Hopefully a little thinner. No offense, buddy. He could be a little on the lighter side, but beyond that, his health is amazing. He is already neutered. Hello. He's already vaccinated. He has given the all okay clearance from our veterinarian. There are no concerns with his age at all. His vision is awesome. His hearing is awesome. His hips are good. Basically, pretend he's 5, whatever. The life expectancy of one of these, if he's a mix, which we're pretty sure he is, would be like 15. So things are certainly going to slow down as he ages, but that's okay. That's okay.
We all slow down as we age.
I mean, it might be that you have been considering a lab for a long time, or a retriever mix, or a dog of this type, and you're like, they stay puppies so darn long.
They do.
I mean, as I get a little older in my life, I know that I don't necessarily have the energy for something like that, and this would be the way I'd go. But I understand that there's some added attachment issues as they get older that we get really sad about that is concerning. But we don't want him at the shelter, so we want him to go home, right, with anybody.
He needs a home.
He does. Now, he is awesome with other animals. He's been in a multi-dog home. He likes them. One of the dogs that he actually came to the shelter with beats him up on a regular basis. I'm sorry that I told everybody that embarrassment, meaning that he is absolutely not the dominant dog. I'm sorry I told people your secret. She beats you up. I'm sorry. They all know. And he is good with cats too. And again, they beat him up. I'm sorry, buddy. They beat you up. I know. Basically, what I'm telling you is this is the biggest wuss of the dog.
He's just a
big
sissy.
wuss. He's a big sis. He is also great with children, although he's not been with tiny toddlers. I think the only concern with that will be that he has no idea his size because he's a bit of a chunker, a little bit of a chunker. You might knock him over, but not with bad intentions, right? Just by accident. Yeah, by accident. Yeah. You're a good boy. Yeah, you are.
He's so cute. I have a weakness for any kind of a lab mix because I have 2 at home.
Give her your sad
and
face.
He would fit in quite well with them because he's about the same size as them, and obviously the energy level is there, but it would destroy my house. It's already going.
It's just too much to
It's already going, but
you
we
have
do
to
have
give
holes
Christ.
in the drywall from
Yeah.
the dogs hitting the wall, but he's going to be your best friend. He wants to be your buddy. He wants to come with you for walks, car rides.
He was great in the car.
Yeah.
Really, really good in the car.
He wants to go for a pup cup with you and spend time. And he would just be a great companion.
You want a pup cup?
He's so
Maybe
cute.
Yeah.
And he's obviously just full of love.
He is. He is He's a lover.
Yeah.
Which is exactly where we want him to go, to the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that somebody can give you lots of love back. I know, see, it's so exciting. It's the best news ever.
He's so excited for a new home.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Good boy.
Renee, also, I thought we should mention your rabies vaccine clinic.
Yes.
Coming up this Saturday.
Yes, it's actually the 21st.
Yeah.
The 21st, 10 till 2. We recommend you come sooner as opposed to closer to 2. We order 200 vaccines. Should be good. We have no idea.
Right.
Don't come at 5 to 2 and complain if we run out of vaccines. So come sooner.
Yeah.
Cash only, please. We do not have a debit machine up. We've lost Atlas. We do have the option for e-transfer, but as you understand, with 200 people, that gets a little tricky. So cash is preferred. $30 a vaccine, which is at cost. We definitely want you to do that because it's the only way that you can get it at $30 for a rabies vaccine. For sure.
That is a deal.
It is. Hi. We do obviously want you to leash your dogs. We want your cats contained in cages. We'll deal with the vaccination, taking them out of the cages. Don't worry about that. We have a lot of people who are concerned, but my cat hates to travel. And don't worry, we can do it. You just got to get it there, which is totally okay. We do have a few cages available too. That's another thing we should mention. People have asked, I don't have a carrying cage. What can I do? You can call us. We have a few we can lend. For sure. For sure.
That's good to know.
Right.
That's good to
I know.
And of course, if you're interested in meeting Atlas or finding out about any of the animals that are currently in the care of the Owen Sound Animal Shelter, you could always call them at 519-372-1123 and always check out their Facebook page.
Renee, do you keep a website with all the animals on it?
Definitely do. You just type Owen Sound Animal Shelter in under a search page. Our Facebook page is updated a little more faster, only as it comes right from our pocket, as we all do that with our cell phones, but the website is current, so definitely follow it, and you can follow it for updating events and stuff too, which is great, like the rabies clinic, or like you.
This has definitely been one of the most rambunctious guests we've had, but in a good way. I mean, he's not knocking things over here.
I'm not old. I'm not old.
Definitely got eyes. I don't know if there's a ball in the corner or what is it that you are seeing, buddy, but you want whatever it is over there. He really reminds me of a golden retriever too, because I have two, and I can tell in the face that there's definitely a lot of golden retriever influence here.
I think so too. I would say lab and golden, but I don't know. Well, I mean, you know, you tell me, what is it? Stuff. It's some stuff. It's some stuff. What?
Oh my gosh.
Something exciting is happening, whatever it is. Right?
We have less than a couple minutes to go, Renee. Is there anything else that we should know about? Just any other general animal tips for people that are watching, just as we head into the winter months, tips on care for animals?
Weather is changing. If you have an outdoor pet that you're feeding, let's work on that now before things get colder. We often get inundated as the first snow flies with people who've had outdoor stray cats or outdoor colony dogs or whatever that they get suddenly worried about. We are also worried. We don't want to leave you hanging, so please don't wait. Do it now. Things are going to change quickly, I think, in the weather front, so sooner rather than later.
Well, we definitely saw just in the last couple of weeks how fast we went from summer into the fall season.
I think
and
it's
how
going to be quick.
Quickly the temperature changed, how quickly things became a lot wetter than they were, and remember those animals outside, they're dealing with those conditions as well.
Definitely.
Renee from the Owen Sound Animal Shelter, thank you so much for coming in today, and hopefully we got a new home for you soon, buddy.
He's found one. Look at him. He's like, I'll just stay right here.
That's
There
right.
he is.
By
Right
accepting
here.
the leash, you have accepted the dog,
right.
Sarah.
He knows I'm weak. He
He's
does.
like, this is a good spot right here.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Grey County Life. Enjoy your weekend, and we will talk to you again next week. Cheers.
The hair that is on
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Online betting is booming. Booyah! Woo! Oh yeah! You could win big!
But you could also lose. There is risk with online gambling, and that's a reality nobody's shouting about. Learn about safer play at knowtherisks.ca.